its morning show at East Coast FM. Now, Bray Wanderers at the Carlisle Grounds in Bray are inviting fans to become shareholders through a crowdfunding campaign. Tony Richardson is co-owner and chairman of Bray Wanderers. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. So give us the idea.
Yeah, the idea really, I suppose, is focused on our plans to try and accelerate the stadium upgrade and stadium development plan that we have for the ground. So we've made a lot of progress. I suppose we're now into kind of my third season of being involved at the club, and we've made a lot of progress in terms of upgrading the ground and the playing surface and facilities and so on. But when we got involved originally, there was a bigger plan really to redevelop the stadium, and we're anxious if we can to just try and accelerate that and get moving on that. So we've been looking at different funding options, and from time to time I've had inquiries from some supporters and from some smaller investors about potentially participating in the ownership of the club and getting more connected to the club. And so I kind of connected that with conversations I've had with Spark Crowdfunding, a group that I'm familiar with from the kind of healthcare and life science arena, and put it all together. And this just looks like an ideal platform and an ideal mechanism to get folks involved in the club and to enable us to kind of accelerate our stadium development plans. So that's the background to it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And the ownership of the club, that's spread out amongst how many people at the moment?
The current ownership of the club, there's six kind of co-owners involved in the club. Yeah. So as part of this, we're basically planning a fundraise. We set kind of a minimum target and an amount up to which we would go. So yeah. So depending on the amount raised, I mean, this is new and novel in football circles. So there's a couple of clubs in the UK have tried crowdfunding successfully before, but I'm not aware of any initiatives in Ireland. So it's new, and we'll see how it goes. And depending on how it goes, that will determine the amount of equity that will go into new hands or into the hands of new shareholders in the club. Yeah.
Right. The Carlisle Grounds itself, is that still owned, was it by the council, and Bray Wanderers have a lease? What is
Correct.
The situation there?
Yeah, correct. So the council own the ground, and we have what you'd call a long sporting lease on the ground, and the lease duration is 35 years, and the ground is a dedicated sporting facility, and will remain so. So basically we have a lease from the council. I mean, any upgrade or development plans we would need to obviously present to the council and other stakeholders and get everybody on board with them. And we've started that process. We did a site feasibility study about a year ago, and we're keen to now move into the next phase, which is more detailed, more involved, more expensive. It would involve essentially a full project feasibility study, which would look at kind of transport planning. It would look at a full economic impact assessment study, and various kind of different work streams. So we're keen to kind of get into that, and then once we have a developed project plan, we'd engage with stakeholders, the council, and so on. Yeah,
it must be reassuring for people to know there's a long lease on that. 35 years. There was a scare some years back, and talk about going to Row and all sorts of things going on. But that's all to bed now. That's all gone, is it?
Yeah, I've heard some of the history and over the years, but yeah, it's. I mean, we're committed to the ground as a sporting venue, and that's firmly our plan.
Right, and from the last time anyway, the council were as well. So people, who take shareholding in this, how many shares can they buy, or is there a maximum? Is there a minimum?
Yeah, so it goes through the Spark crowdfunding platform. So people would need to log onto the platform. You need to register. Spark themselves, I understand, have kind of 12,000 plus registered members or investors. There's the smallest level of investment could be €100, and anything upwards after that. So if people log onto the platform, they'll find details there, additional information on the opportunity. There's a video and some promotional materials. That's essentially how it works.
Right. I know you've got to invest to get something back, but many people might say, well, if I put money into Bray, what do I get?
Yeah, I mean, people have asked me the same question. I think we have an amazing opportunity here. Our catchment. Our catchment is not dissimilar to yours. So we have a significant opportunity. There's a lot of growth and development in our area. Just look at the amount of building that's going on around the area. So we have a tremendous target market. I think a market that's deserving of a proper stadium and a proper facility. I think there's a lot of, I would say, inbound interest in the League of Ireland currently. So I think the league is enjoying a period of pretty much unprecedented growth. So you've seen, I suppose we're keen to kind of take it step by step. Let's build. Let's get a stadium in place. And let's work towards a goal. When we got involved, we talked about big picture stuff like European football and all that. That's still a dream that lots of us would have, but there's building blocks that need to be put in place before that. So let's focus on getting that all in place, building value, and then we'll see further down the road, what that might reveal in terms of opportunity.
Right. So if people want to find out more, where do they go?
Yep. There's a press release out this morning, and there's a link on our social media and on our website, and there's a link there to the Spark crowdfunding platform. So if people want to log on to that, they'll find additional information there and information in terms of how to get involved.
Very good. Okay, best of luck with that, Tony. Thanks very much indeed.
Super. Thanks a million.
Good morning to you. Thank you. That's Tony Richardson there, co-owner and chairman of Bray Wanderers, who are inviting fans to become shareholders through a crowdfunding campaign.